Yesterday, talking about all these TV shows. Talking about The Ice Road with Liam Neeson and all these other shows. I forgot to tell you about another show that I stumbled upon. And it wasn't in the top 10. And I just started to watch it, I think on Friday. And now it's in the top 10. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it's one of those shows that comes on Netflix every once in a while where it's just all sex.
Yes.
Did you
I
see
think
it?
I know which one you're talking about.
Sex Life?
Oh, no, I'm talking about Too Hot to Handle.
No, this is called Sex
yeah,
Life.
'cause that's on Netflix right now,
Yeah,
too.
I started that.
Have you seen Sex Life yet?
No.
Damn.
What is that?
It's one of those. It was on top 10 last night, and I was watching it Friday. It's about this woman, this beautiful woman who's, it shows she was single, and was in the club scene, and she did it all. She did it all. Now she's married with a kid, and her husband is the greatest guy of all time, and she is bored.
Oh.
I know. And her ex-boyfriend comes to town.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's all that stuff. I'm halfway through the first episode, and I had to turn it off because it was daytime. And my kids were around.
I know, that's what I'm like, even like watching Bridgerton, I was like, please don't, like my children just like pop up. They're like magicians, like out of nowhere. Hello. And you're like, oh God, press pause.
But like,
They're wrestling.
it's like that. Back in the day when I was a kid, there was Showtime, and Showtime had like Showtime After Dark, and it was like almost like it was almost like porn, but it wasn't porn. It was close to it. And it's like that's what this is like. Yeah, like I would sit there and try to watch it until my parents would tell me to go to sleep. Like when you walk in, they're like all naked. It's crazy. Remember that one show we watched? The really good-looking guy that I was in love with?
365.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's got that kind of stuff to it.
Oh.
But it's more, and it's also, the acting's not great, but it's like they acted their scenes out, and then you know how they go in the studio, and then they go and they lay down the track on their mic later? It's like that. Like they're having a normal conversation. Like, let's say it's like, hey, how are you today? What'd you do? Oh, I went to the store. Like a normal conversation. It's like, hey, how are you today? What'd you do? Oh, I went to the store.
Oh,
Like,
that sounds like it would be kind of annoying.
Yeah.
it is, but they're so good looking, these people. Like, so good looking. You know, it's worth it just to see as much as I saw because it's so campy. But it's called Sex Life.
And do you think it goes into something like, is there going to be a murder, or is it just about the sex life?
After I watched the first 20 minutes of it, I went back and looked at the trailer. And in the trailer, it looks like the ex-boyfriend comes back in her life, and then the husband finds out, and the husband's like, look, I didn't have a crazy sex life before us. Bring me with you. Let me be part of this. And it looks like experimental stuff happens.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right?
Meanwhile, speaking of experimental stuff, let me tell you about something that happened with me and Kyle. What? No,
Where are you
totally
going with
unrelated. Totally unrelated to the sex life thing. Yesterday on the show, it came out that Kyle and I both have skin tags.
That's right. That's
yeah.
right. It was like,
Congratulations.
how did this happen, right? Like
Right,
they
it was
came out of
weird.
nowhere. And all of a sudden it was like this little part of your body that you didn't want.
It was weird how it
What are
both
you
came
doing
up
there?
that we were both dealing with it at the same time. Kyle's was like in her like bikini line, right?
Yeah.
Is that what it was? And mine was such a weird place. It was like under your butt cheek.
Like in the crack,
In the-
almost.
in the crack, but like lower, close to your hello.
Oh,
Right?
okay. Yeah.
And it was been bothering me a lot. And I don't know how long I've had it. I don't know when I noticed it, but it's been there. And I've been feeling it there a lot to where I became obsessed with this little skin tag. Just so happens yesterday, my son Kemp, my wife had set up an appointment for him to go to the dermatologist for his annual mole check.
All right.
Yeah.
Right?
It's important to do those.
Yes. And my wife was going to take him. And I was like, let me take him. And I thought, let me take him, see if I could slide in hey, can you guys take a look at this skin tag for me? Right? And the thing about this dermatologist place, it's all women. All women. And I've been there before, and they removed stuff for me before. So they do Kemp, they look at it, and it takes a second to go over. They go through his head, and they go through everything. He's fine. And then I'm like, can you take a look at it? And they go, sure, we can look at it. Well, no problem. Where is it? I'm like, well,
I have around here.
it's like, my butt cheek. And like, all right. And they're like, they give me a gown. And I'm like, so I put on this like gown, and they're like, okay, where? And I'm like, well, it's like below the butt cheek a little bit. And they're like, I got to get in this weird position when you think about it. Like I have to open up my legs and I have to get on my tippy toes.
What?
And
To lift your booty?
then I
You
had to
didn't just
pull-
lay down?
No, because to see it for the first time, they wanted to see it first. So I got to pull up my underwear right? And it's down underneath, way underneath the butt cheek. And it turns out it's not a skin tag, it's a mole.
Oh.
A mole. And she's like, you probably had this your whole life. I'm like, no.
How come you just noticed
I don't
it?
know. I don't know.
Did it grow? Because that's bad.
I didn't. It
right?
didn't.
When
no.
moles
She was
grow,
like,
that's
do you want
bad.
us to remove it? You can keep it. I'm like, well, I've become obsessed with it over the last week. I said, so if you can remove it. And she's like, okay. And she's like, lay down on the, first she put, this is what blew me away. I should take a picture of it. She brought out a piece of paper. It was like a menu. And it's like, for like a skin tag, it's $50 to remove. For a mole, it's $60 to remove. And for every thing removed, it was like literally how much it costs
Like
to
a
remove.
spa?
Yeah, to remove things off your body, how much it costs. And I was like, well, hey, man, get rid of it. And so then I had to lay down on the table, and then they gave me a pain injection of lidocaine. I put it on my TikTok, and I put it on my Instagram last night. And then they cut it, and my son Camp was like, you are insane. He sounds insane. And I'm like, man, I became obsessed with this thing, my butt cheek. I need to get rid of it. So here's what I didn't think about. How much it hurts right now sitting here talking to you guys.
Oh, yeah. Because it probably, they have to slice it off so it's scabbed over, right? Or not, maybe not even yet. Just an open wound.
No, I have a
Stitch?
I have a Band-Aid on it. But
I thought they could like freeze it off. I guess you can do that with just skin tags.
I took a picture this morning. I went and I jumped in a hot tub, which just to give you guys
Kevin's like, I never want Dad to take me again.
Nice to know you. Meet you. Nice to meet you, Mo. Don't say Mo. Stop. I said Mo.
Stop.
Bye. Mo. 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 Oh, shut up! Mole, 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 mole.
It's a mole by my holy.
That's so awkward and embarrassing.